Okay, I actually have something really funny to start off with, but I want to wait until I actually talk about last night's episode of The Masked Singer before I start to do it. So with that in mind, let's get to my low, my high, my act of kindness. Simply put, my low is the fact that, yesterday just sort of seemed like a drag a little bit. Plus, I did eventually get to hang out with my mom and my dad, but my dad had a meeting and my mom was working, so it was definitely after 8 o'clock when we all, got together. And it was really cool because we actually had Emilio's last night for dinner. And I got myself I had a sub, and my folks both got calzones. Although, for being honest, I don't know. It feels kind of off when you get Emilio's and you don't get pizza, I guess. And maybe that kind of contributes to the low a little. Don't get me wrong, the stuff I got was phenomenal. It's Emilio's. Emilio's is awesome. It's the best pizza joint in my entire area. It's not even close. Oh, actually, I shouldn't say it's not even close. There's a few really good places. Vincenzo's here in Elmira is pretty solid. Really, any Pudgy's location is pretty solid too. Picnic's good. Rico's is good. Wise Guys and Hammondsport, they're pretty good too. And Mark's and Penn, they're really good. But I'm getting sidetracked. So there was then. Last night, I did get to hang out with my folks, and I did see The Masked Singer, so of course that's my high. And my act of kindness was, yesterday was garbage day, and so when I got to my folks' place, I brought it's really only one big garbage can and their recycling bin, but I still brought it in for them. So there you go. Good morning. Happy Thursday, everyone. And I have one last thing to do. It's my NFL pick. It's between the Ravens and the Bucks. I don't know. The Bucks are not looking so good. And the Ravens, they're maybe looking a bit better. If the Bucks lose tonight, I really think it's going to be the end of their reign of dominance over the NFL, particularly Tom Brady being as good as he is. So, yeah, you know what? I'll pick the Bucks. I will. Actually, no. Wait. Darn. This is hard. Because I never want to pick against Tom Brady. You know what? I honestly hope I'm wrong about this. I'm picking the Ravens to win. Yep, I'm picking the Baltimore Ravens to win tonight. I think they're starting to get a little better, and, the Buccaneers are starting to come apart at the seams a little. So there you go. Now let's talk about The Masked Singer. So, do you remember when I talked about last week's episode of The Masked Singer? I pretty much ended with the fact that last night's episode would be Muppet Night. And I said, how long do you think it's going to be until we hear Rainbow Connection? So not even 2 seconds in, the episode starts with Rainbow Connection. Oh boy. This was good. It's the Muppets. Seriously, I have yet to see a single soul who does not like the Muppets. Of course I grew up with the Muppets. Of course I know, which every Muppet is, pretty much. And I cannot tell you how many times I grew up watching Muppet Treasure Island. I love that movie. I love that movie so much. Oh, man. I might actually watch it later today. I love it so much. I don't think... Not a year goes by where I either don't watch it or I at least don't think about it. I love that movie so much. And, I can almost quote that movie verbatim. I love it so much. And obviously there was nothing Muppet Treasure Island related in this episode of The Masked Singer, but there was still a lot to to watch here. And right out of the gate, the episode started off with Robo Girl, who did Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen, with Kermit the Frog playing the piano. Kermit the Frog playing the piano, and therefore the Robo Girl saying she's worked with Kermit the Frog. That is awesome. But doing Bohemian Rhapsody, you would think don't get me wrong, Bohemian Rhapsody, amazing song. I don't think anyone's going to dispute that. But there's actually a bit of a I said connection, but there actually is a parallel as to why Bohemian Rhapsody was sung. And around 2010, or maybe it was 2011, the Muppets, at that time, it's not like they were completely forgotten, but they were kind of falling out of relevance a little. And to bring them back into prominence, the Muppets did a recreation of Queen's music video of Bohemian Rhapsody. So having Muppet Night consist of Bohemian Rhapsody as one of the songs we hear, it was quite fitting and very good. And Robo Girl was amazing. And literally every song that was sung in last night's episode, you could make a connection to the Muppets with. For example, after Robo Girl went, there was the Beetle, who, spoiler, he was the first to get unmasked. He did The Way You Look Tonight by Frank Sinatra. What does that have to do with the Muppets? Because back when the Muppets had the Muppet Show way back in was it like the 70s or 80s or something like that, like way back when, basically the Muppet Show was like, in a lot of ways, it's like SNL is now, where there's like a guest star of prominence. And I can't quite prove it, but I would not be surprised if at some point Frank Sinatra himself was on the Muppet Show. So there you go. And speaking of which, the next song done by the Lambs was Hot and Cold by Katy Perry. What does that have to do with it? If you watch any Muppet movie now, it's very about, really, even the Muppet movies way back when, one thing that was always funny is you get like big name actors or stars or singers or celebrities in the Muppet movies. And they would just have some of the most minor arbitrary roles you would ever see. I can't remember where, but I'm positive I know Katy Perry's done something Muppet related. And so, actually, I love the song Hot and Cold. It's a great song by Katy. That and probably Teenage Dream are my favorite Katy Perry songs. But that's just me. But yeah, the Lambs it was so weird because I'm watching The Masked Singer, then my mom walks in because she was busy. I ate my dinner fast because I wanted to watch The Masked Singer. My mom shows up, she hears the Lambs. She didn't think they sounded very good. I thought they sounded okay. Not as good as Robo Girl, but they sounded okay. So, I mentioned earlier the Beetle was the first to get eliminated, and it's really funny because, from the very beginning, I kind of figured it would be this person, but there was a little bit of time where, because one of the clues was, there might have been a time where you see me on TV and you're chanting my name. Now, automatically that should tell you it was Jerry Springer. And it was. And that's why, in hindsight, I really should have just said it was Jerry Springer myself. But I'll be honest, Jerry Springer, he was, I grew up in the 90s, but I really wasn't allowed to watch Jerry Springer. I grew up in a very conservative household, so there. And I really wasn't allowed to watch Jerry Springer. As I got older and I was able to watch more stuff, not that I ever went back to watch Jerry Springer, but I would see if he was on, just to see if he was on. Nowadays it's like, Maury Povich or something? But, whereas the previous generation would have had Jerry Springer in terms of, people you see on TV whose name you chant. My generation had Stephen Colbert. I'm not gonna lie. I really thought the Beatle was gonna be Stephen Colbert, which, I mean, come on, Stephen Colbert's the man. I love Stephen Colbert. He's cool. Like, seriously, if I ever got famous doing these videos, and like you see me on talk shows ever, one talk show I want to do, the Tonight Show, will be on Stephen Colbert show. I'm not kidding. I want to meet Stephen Colbert. He is the man. And like, I would imagine right now, if I was on Stephen Colbert show, one thing I would definitely want to do is eat a pint of Americone Dream ice cream. If you know, you know. So the Beatles out, it was Jerry Springer, and then we get to the battle round. Now, the next song was "Call Me" by Blonde, and that was the song they both had to sing. And right from the very beginning, Robo Girl goes first. She slays this song. She killed it. And you would think, because I mentioned how the Lambs didn't sound good earlier, singing "Hot and Cold" by Katy Perry. Here's why. And they used this trick for the battle round. When they did "Hot and Cold" by Katy Perry, they didn't really harmonize. In the Battle Royale, they harmonized their vocals, and it sounded incredible. It took that to beat the Robo Girl. Yep. For the first time this season, someone who's been crowned the king or queen has been dethroned. Because remember, when it was like Group A and Harp was winning, she never lost. Robo Girl beat Gloria Gaynor. So I'm thinking, who are these ladies who are the Lambs that beat whoever the Robo Girl is? I tell you what, right now I would still say my money is on, the Harp winning it all. But I would not be surprised if it comes down to the Harp versus whoever this particular group has. At least that's just me. But the Robo Girl got a mask, and it turned out to be Kat Graham, who was known for being on like Vampire Diaries and stuff like that. Again, I don't really. And it was funny because Nicole Scherzinger, she's like, "Man, I was just with you. How did I not know?" That was pretty funny. Okay, I can't really talk about Muppets Night without talking about the fact that Miss Piggy was one of the judges, the guest judges. And it's Miss Piggy, so of course she was saying really funny stuff, that, mwah, like stuff like that. It's the Muppets, I love the Muppets. And she thought the Robo Girl was her. She's like, "I don't know how it happened, but I am the Robo Girl." Like, that was funny. It's Miss Piggy, she can say whatever she wants. And I love how after every performance and the singer got off stage, or singers in case of the Lambs, Fozzie Bear was backstage interviewing the contestants. That was really cool. Waka Waka. I love that, man. Love the Muppets. Love them. Seriously, I do not think, again, I said this earlier, I do not think there is a single soul who dislikes the Muppets. I don't know what to tell you. Seriously, yes, the Muppets are owned by Disney, but whenever kids grow up, Muppets are literally the first thing that they're introduced to via Sesame Street. Which, Sesame Street, come on, Sesame Street. It's awesome. It's as long as I'm on the subject, I wonder. Well, actually, I don't really wonder. I know what the answer to this is. I'm trying to leave it in suspense. Who's my favorite Muppet? Who is the Muppet that I, commonly associate with? And if I have to choose just one, I'm telling you right now, it's Cookie Monster. love me some Cookie Monster. Cookie Monster's the man. Like, if I was ever like with a Muppet, I would say, or like hanging out with a Muppet, I would say Cookie Monster. Cookie Monster's awesome. However, I tend to gravitate more towards, I love Kermit and Miss Piggy, but I've always felt like some of the side Muppets, like Gonzo or Grover or, Fozzie Bear, like, those guys are great. I watched Muppet Treasure Island, so I've seen a lot of Gonzo and a lot of Rizzo and Fozzie. Actually, I associate with the Muppets I just mentioned, but another Muppet I definitely associate with, well actually three. Two of them, Statler and Waldorf. Love those guys. They're funny. If you've ever watched the Muppet Show and they're heckling the performance on stage, that's hilarious. I love that. But I gotta say, there's a Muppet that I personally feel like, okay, you know how like there are certain moments in any movie you watch where like I totally relate to that moment. A moment that definitely resonates with me, and yes, this is from watching Muppet Treasure Island, was in the final battle where Sweetums is about to show up and like it looks like he's gonna attack Sam the Eagle, who plays Mr. Arrow, and Kermit's character, Smalley. Like he shows up and like Mr. Arrow and Smalley are fighting the bad guys. Sweetums coming in the background thinking, "Brace yourself, Mr. Arrow," and Sweetums swipes the bad guys away, and Kermit's like, who's Captain Smalley's like, "Well, thank you. Aren't you supposed to be fighting against us?" And then Sweetums is like, "Are you kidding? I love you guys." That is me. That is so me. I would totally do that. And then he leaves just like, I love that moment. Oh man, I smile every time I watch that part. Like that is me. I mean, it's the Muppets. I love the Muppets. Like this season has become like, in terms of like using themes and entertainment, this might be my favorite season so far. Like, I'm not even kidding. And it's even better because the next episode is gonna be 90s Night. Oh man, this is like, it really was as if this season was made for me. Like, not solely for me, but like people of my age and peer group that, either grew up in the 90s and or were very in tune with like some of the entertainment of, yesteryear. Again, like the Muppets or Andrew Lloyd Webber, a couple weeks ago, or, television theme songs of yore. Like, this episode was made if you're like a fanboy or fangirl like me. This whole season's been like if you're a fanboy or fangirl like me. And I love it. And yeah, I got nothing else to say, but this episode was a lot of fun. And yes, I will mention this part as well. There was a part where they do banana, do 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 do, banana, do 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 do, banana, do 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 do. Okay, that's enough right now. So, really excited for today's episode of Hot Ones. That's going to be a little bit later today. Can't wait to talk about that. It's going to be awesome. And that's actually why I'm wearing a red shirt, because, hot, red hot, there you go. And, yeah, I hope y'all liked this video. And if you did, leave a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It would do my YouTube channel greatly. As always, I am very humbled that I made this video for all of you guys who watch and enjoy today. Hopefully you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Thursday. Seriously, why do I always tend to forget what day it is? Man. Maybe, you know what? I'll give myself a break here. I'm excited. It was such a good, man, last night's episode of Mass Singer was so good. And remember, if you guys want to talk channel, is going to be here to lend you. So everybody, take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.